Top globalists foreshadow an epidemic, apocalyptic biological attack. That's the subheadline. I'm going to make that the main headline of the article on Infowars.com. Top globalists foreshadow an apocalyptic biological attack that will, again, bring in total world government. Chelsea Clinton wrote a book where she was going to be the head of the Bill and Melinda Gates program worldwide when her mother was president. That didn't happen, so now they're not promoting the book. This is huge. We're going to play this special report, and then we're going to, just a few minutes for the balance of the hour, go to Gerald Celente of Trends Research and the Trends Journal to break down. I want to get to the economy first because he's really a smart guy when it comes to that, best-selling author as well, because like Ron Paul said a month ago, what Trump's doing is great for the economy, but it may be too little too late, especially with how they're lined up trying to stop him. So we're going to talk to Gerald Celente, who's got his finger on the pulse of trendsresearch.com here in just a moment. But first, this is a really important report that Rob Jacobson and Darren McBreen put together because it goes to the mindset, it goes to the system, it goes to where the globalists are taking us and how they want to use global pandemics and crises, many cases that they create. Oh, yeah, the Bill and Melinda Gates have been caught doing all sorts of horrible stuff, sterilants and vaccines, you name it. His dad was the head of Planned Parenthood. It's really deep stuff. My film Endgame, Blueprint for Global Enslavement, that's free on YouTube, by the way, breaks it down. So here's this report, and then we're going to go to my friend, there he is right there, Gerald Celente, up there in Kingston, New York, to get into all the important topics he's got. But here is this brief but important report that's on Infowars.com. Please retweet it. Please Facebook it. You're the reason these videos get millions of views when they do get millions of views, and this one needs millions of views. Here it is.
Right now, the global elite are preparing for something big. It looks like they are in the final stages of positioning themselves for a worldwide global pandemic, an event that they say is not a matter of if, but a matter of when it will happen. Now, recently, we've noticed that Bill and Melinda Gates, well, they've been given a lot of speeches lately, publicly warning that the world is at risk of a deadly outbreak. On February 18th at the Munich Security Conference, they said that a bioterrorist could use a genetically engineered epidemic that could kill up to 30 million people.
We also face a new threat that the next epidemic has a good chance of originating on a computer screen of a terrorist intent.
Meanwhile, he's studying all these weapons
to create a synthetic version of the smallpox
and so when it happens, he'll be a hero for telling us about it.
And highly deadly strain of flu. Whether it occurs by the quirk of nature or at the hand of a terrorist, epidemiologists show through their models that a respiratory spread pathogen would kill more than 30 million people
hit pause.
in less than a year.
Hit pause. I'm going to play most of the report, but go to Celente here in a minute, and I'll skip a break so we have more time. But if you study Bill Gates like I have and all the weird stuff he's into and the bioweapons and how he gets funding in his own companies through government programs like BioShield, you realize just how incredibly creepy all of this is and how the very elites, he and Oprah Winfrey and others have met there in New York. It's been covered by ABC News to discuss a bioweapon to reduce world's population, and that's what the UN openly calls for. Then the guy that thinks we're stupid that writes books saying it's time to call the population and has secret meetings with Ted Turner, who says the same things, is here telling us, get ready for it to come, get ready for it to happen. When it's our own government, other governments that shot the black people up with syphilis and did all the secret nerve gas testing and radiation of homeless kids and, orphans. I mean, it's just like the devil is sitting in front of you telling you that look out, gremlins exist, and that they're coming for you when he's the king of the gremlins. Again, the full report's on Infowars.com. Let's go to some more of this. But they're really hyping it right now, like right before 9/11. Terrorism's coming, and when it comes, give all your rights up. Big buildings are going to get blown up. I saw Gary Hart and Warren Redmond on Hardball going, something big's about to happen, probably in New York. Wait. And it's just a big celebration of throwing it in our face. So here it is.
Is known for its global vaccine programs and the tragic incidents that left over 40,000 children paralyzed. Some children even died from the vaccines. The Gates Foundation's practices of bad science on innocent children has compelled the Indian government to refuse funding from Bill Gates and restrict their...
MSM does stuff like the Washington Post did it again today. They just in a random article that I covered earlier say, Alex Jones says Hillary Clinton murders children. And then again, tied to Pizzagate. when I said she murdered children funding Al-Qaeda and ISIS and all these groups in the Middle East the last 6 years since the Arab Spring, which they admit they did, and Trump's right exposing it. So see how they misrepresent? But while you're watching that video as a listener, you see mainstream news, articles, documents, as Darren McBreen proves everything he claims. But see, the news will just take clips of what he said and say that we said that when we're showing you CNBC. That's why I started putting the radio show on TV 16 years ago, because I was sick of people saying I was making stuff up. India scraps funding ties with Gates Foundation on immunization. Let's get a few more minutes, then we're going to Gerald Celente.
Relationship. InfoWars has exhaustively covered the Gates family participation in global eugenics schemes such as Planned Parenthood, global vaccine failures, alliances with foundations such as the Rockefellers, who sponsored dozens of population control centers, as well as ominous quotes like this.
First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
On January 18th, in an article titled, "Bill Gates is teaming up with world leaders to stop the next deadly pandemic," Business Insider reported that governments from Germany, Japan, and Norway have pooled funds along with the Gates Foundation to raise a total of $490 million, which Coalition for Epidemic Preparedness Innovations, or CEPA, says will help finance the first 5 years of research and development. Now, Bill Gates appeared at January 2017's Davos World Economic Forum, flaunting his CEPA program. CBS News headline, Bill Gates on how to outsmart global epidemics. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is listed as a member of the World Health Organization, which means the World Health Organization gets their money in part from Gates. If the chips fall, it's the foundations and trust funds that want to be the ones sitting at the very top. So what's their next move? Well, we could simply turn to their own actions and their own writings for the answers. In early 2017, the Oxford Press released Governing Global Health, Who Runs the World and Why? And it was authored by none other than Chelsea Clinton and co-authored by Devi Sridhar. The book discusses the current global model of principal agency theory, or public-private partnership funding, and managing a coordinated response of a worldwide pandemic. Now, in this book, Chelsea Clinton suggests ways that the request of those financing these plans are heard loud and clear and acted upon appropriately. In the case of a world pandemic...
The full report's on Infowars.com. It's excellent. It gets even more hardcore. Bottom line, they loot the government. They create a world government. They get medical tyranny worldwide, make more corporate profits that they then have tax exempt to carry out sterilization, population control, you name it. Then they have meetings at Einstein University in New York, and it leaks out that they're planning all this. I cover it 8 years ago from mainstream news, and nobody cares. Talk about sensational.
Talk show host is Alex Jones. He's a conspiracy theorist.
Radio talk show host Alex Jones.
Alex Jones.
Jones is the wildly popular conspiracy theorist.
Radio talk show host and conspiracy theorist Alex Jones.
Deeply, I think, racist.
I just got called racist by MSNBC.
I don't want that man to have a gun.
1776 will commence again if you try to take our firearms.
The Alex Jones Show. Watch the free stream live at Infowars.com/show.